I like Red Bull. So I'm going to start working on that ether system. The continuity here might not be all that great because I kind of started doing some of the wiring here the other day, and I got video of it, but then I cut it off because I wanted to shut the episode because it was getting too long. So this whole ether episode is going to be all one episode. So I already have the wiring done, but we'll cut into that and then we're going to cut back out of it because I'm going to end up running the wire back to where I ended that day, and then we'll start figuring out where we're going to mount the ether system and all that stuff. So yeah, for the sake of continuity, I'm just trying to explain it. So here we go. Okay, I got all my parts to do. I'm going to kill myself on the ice. Got all my parts to do the ether assist, since it's missing on the truck. As far as I know, it's probably on there somewhere and I'm probably just missing it. But I got all the parts here to put a new one on anyways. I'm going to try to track the wiring down, make sure the wiring's correct. I tried testing it last night and it didn't work. Well, it didn't have a connection. And find my keys to the shop. Didn't have a connection, so I'm going to try to trace that down. Might be a fuse or circuit breaker in there. I haven't checked it out. I haven't chased it yet. So we're going to do that today. If I can get in and shut the alarm off before I carry all this crap. Okay, so I have 3 sets of random wires that I have no idea what they go to. Maybe 4. No, this one? Okay. I got this one, which I don't know what it does. I got this one, which I don't know what it does. I got these 2, which I have no idea what they do. But these look strikingly familiar to the connections that are on a ether assist on my road grader. And I'm guessing that these were on the ether assist here. I'm assuming maybe that they had the ether assist plugged into this. Either I'm having a stroke or these lights are flashing in here. Either way, whatever, we're just gonna fight through it. I'm assuming they had the ether assist plugged into this port in the intake, but I don't know. I could be completely wrong. So we're gonna give her a shot. I should really stop dropping these wires on these batteries because who knows where they go. So I gotta let the cab down, which I can do really well now and quick now and functionally now because I replaced or put a 1.5 quart oil in the system. I'm gonna put the cab down now, and we're gonna start back. I'm gonna leave these wires hanging kind of low so I can reach them and fiddle with them. I'm gonna actually set them back down by the battery again and test them when I go hit the ether switch. So this one's got a little crack in it, but yeah. Okay, let's figure it out. Stop doing that. This is what you would call an overfull situation. Luckily there's a relief valve on it. So probably should have stuck with that 1 quart of fluid. Well, if anything, should have all the air out of the system. Maybe. So pardon the ungodly amount of harsh light. You know, one of my last videos, I was chasing down air leaks in the dash here, and I took out the, I don't know if you can see this, but I took out the windshield wash wiper motor. I did find a windshield wiper motor through the Kenworth dealership. I just got to get that hooked in and put that panel back in. But while we're apart here, my ether switch, yeah, this is my ether switch here. I'm going to take that out because it's a little sticky. It sticks in a little bit, so I want to make sure that that works right and that doesn't stick in because I don't want to cook the motor. So I'm going to go ahead and pop this panel back again, lift that up, get that propped, and I want to chase the wires coming out of that, coming through the power source, which I'm hoping is on one of the circuit breakers up there, and then chase that back down to the tank back down there. Okay, we got you here now. Try to work around the camera a little bit. Pull this switch panel out just a hair and see what I got. Okay. I'll look to see what I got here. Just for reference, we got headlights, clearance lights, unknown, obviously fog lights, and my fuel tank selector. We got the fan switch. This works, I know. I don't have no idea what this switch is. And then my ether switch over here. So, ether switch is completely unhooked. So, give you a little show. If you look at the back of the ether switch there, the ether switch is completely unhooked. So I'm going to pull that switch out and just try to clean it out a little bit. Let's take a look. We're going to take a look into the back here. And get you a little light here. Try to figure out where all of our wiring and everything is for everything, what we're looking at. There's a bunch of little added wires and everything. I don't know where they go or what they do right now. I'm going to try to figure that out. This goes out here and up above and around and who knows where. I'm assuming it's going to be our heated mirrors or something. I don't know. It's up in the windshield. Wait, what? Windshield there. I don't know, a lot of wires that look like they could start fires. So we're gonna try to clean that up a little bit. More little blue wires. Guy liked a lot of blue wire. This guy did that had it. So let's try to get some of that cleaned up. First things first, let's get that ether switch out of the dash here. Get that down, start working on that. Like I said, I don't want that switch to stick and all of a sudden start blowing ether in there uncontrolled. Come on, you can do it. You got it in you. Come on, get out of there. Okay, got her out. So, just normal, just single pole switch. Single pole, I think that's what it is. So I'm gonna get in there, maybe get a little contact cleaner in there, and spray it out there, see if we get it to return like it should, because it should just be a momentary switch and not stick on. So let's rock. And I got this handy little battery here. Check the function of the switch. Works just how it should. Doesn't have any, there's no parasitic, or whatever you call it. There's no current going through it when it's off. It's completely off. So I think we're good. So we'll put that back in. I think what we should do first is run some wires. I'm gonna see if I got any wire that I can use for that. Well, we need to get some wires run down through the doghouse, through the dash, all the way over, down through this panel here is what hides all the wires. I've never had that panel off, so let's take that off and see what we got.
Let's
Hopefully they didn't smash that. Oh, there's some nice mouse eating through insulation. Okay. Yeah, that's stuff you should breathe in. That stuff right there. Jesus. Okay, that's gonna be itchy. Well, now we gotta get the cab jack back up and start pulling wire. I want to probably pull the wire from the bottom up is gonna be easiest. I might be able to just do this from underneath here without jacking the cab. Yeah, I can. I just gotta turn the wheel. So let's get the wheel turned. This is fun when it's sitting here. Yeah. Come on. Get it. Power steering right there, baby. Okay, I have to pull this panel off here to get access to that corner. So it's just some 7/16 bolts I just got to pop off and get that panel out. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is just use a piece of baling wire here and send it down through the hole here in the opening and use that to fish wire back up. Tape my wire to it down here, pull it back up through the hole. Now, what a guy should do, I think I got some trailer wire, some like 4-wire trailer wire. What a guy should do is should run a length of wire from there down to there. That way I have, you know, at least 4 strands of wire running there for the future, because I'm probably gonna need other stuff for lighting or for who knows what. I'm gonna need something. So I think I'm gonna do that real quick while I'm at this. I lied. I don't have any 4-strand wire, but I do have some 7-strand trailer wire. So I got a whole bunch of it, so I might as well use that. That gives me even more opportunities. Yahtzee! Okay. Now let's open up the dash, get this strung through there, and get it over to the switch panels. That way we got good wire and stuff over there. Yeah, you know how it goes. You know how it goes. God, I wish the tilt wheel on this thing worked. In case you guys were interested to see what it looks like behind here, not really super interesting, just a lot of wires and some hoses and some other stuff. But you know, since I'm back here, another thing that I've been saying I was going to do for a long time is lube that cable for the speedometer. So I might as well do that while I'm up here. Let all the juices flow down that little hose there while I'm working on everything else. Yeah. So I'm gonna get the wire run up and through here and tie it off so it's not in any way here, in the way here. Run that back over through here, and then terminate it back there about a foot too long, I suppose, or at least get it to the end of the circuit breaker box anyways. So here's the system that we're gonna put in. It's a CATS ether assist system. Like I was talking, I'm kind of used to working on old John Deere tractors, stuff like that, where you could literally use a aerosol can of ether and just kind of attach it to the bottom and screw it tight and uses a solenoid to actuate this. This is a little more involved. 200 bucks worth of ether injection for the truck. This is a system. I'm going to go through the whole thing step by step. Right now you saw me running the wiring up into the cab. Well, hopefully you did. Hopefully the everything caught it. But I got the wiring run, and I'm going to get that stuff hooked up, run back to where I need to do it. I need to figure out where I'm going to mount it. I kind of want to mount it in an area that's accessible with the cab down, but I don't necessarily know if I really wanted all that, you know, visible either. So I don't know. I was thinking right on the back of the motor back there, but yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll figure out a good place to mount it, and we'll kind of go from there. So I just happened to look down at the wheel here, and I noticed this. I don't know if you can see it in the camera here, but it's a crack. Last year, I know I pointed it out in an earlier video, last year I replaced this hub because the last one was cracked. Well, this one is cracked now too. I'm assuming I got a bad wheel or something because it's cracking around the hub face. It's kind of disappointing because that was like $400 or $500 bucks. Get my light in here. You can see all the cracks there. Just destroyed that hub. It's a brand new hub. That hub doesn't even have 100 miles on it. I got some issues here I gotta figure out. That's gonna get expensive. Okay, let's get this cleaned up and get this put back together so we can get to the meat of the problem here. Okay, somebody before me that had this truck, I'm gonna put this light up here so we can see a little better, had put this exhaust clamp in here to clamp the steering sector, or the steering wheel, or steering column. That's the word. Had used that to bolt it up there. As you can see, makes it real hard for you to rotate the gauges down and everything like that when you have something that thick in there, and it blocks everything up. So that's why I had to take all that off. Obviously there was some kind of smaller strap there at some point. I'm just gonna hose clamp it because that'll be nice and thin, and that'll still allow me to be able to rotate, flip the gauge panels out when I need to do any maintenance or anything back there. So I'm gonna put that back in. Then putting the trailer service brake back in. At some point somebody had cranked this down too hard and broke it. That's why they wrapped a hose clamp, wherever that went, there it is. They wrapped a hose clamp around the whole thing, which actually worked really good, so I'm just going to go ahead and put that back in just the way it was. So. So we got the wire run up into the up to the circuit breakers and switch panel up here. I'm gonna get rid of this wire. I have no idea what it is. Take it off here. I'd like to find some literature or oh Christ, that did not need to happen. As I was saying, I would like to find some literature. That switch is a little long. The screw is a little long. It's okay. To a wiring diagram to see what circuit breakers are for what. I don't think any of them are labeled up there. I'm sure there's something out there. There's probably something in here at some point. oh, like maybe right here. I can try to figure out which circuit breaker I want all my stuff on. Would you look at that? Anti-lock, 1979. That's pretty impressive. I'm not sure how that all worked back then. So looks like my switched accessories and unswitched accessories are going to be on these far right circuit breakers. Yeah, a whole bunch of good circuit breakers to use there. So I'll try to figure out which one I want to use and go from there. And then what I'll do is I'll take the wire that I strung up here. I'll run one of my wires down there and or over to the switch, and then continue on down to the engine there, so we can hook it up to the ether. Track down some wire. For some reason I always seem to be low on wire. So I'm going to make a connection to the switched power source, because I really don't want full battery going to that ether, just to solve any problems in the future that I might have. So I'll put an end on it here. Okay, question of the day. What do you guys call these? Depending on where you're at in the country or where you're at, it's kind of like soda and pop and that kind of stuff. About 18 different names for these. Side cutters, wire snips, dikes, nippers. I don't know. What do you guys call them? Drop it in the comments down there. Let me know. I kind of rotate between dikes and snippers. Here's somebody knocking on the door, so I better go check, see who that is. Okay, strip the coating back on the trailer wiring here. Got a bunch of baby powder in there. I'm assuming, I don't know, part of the manufacturing process, I'm assuming helps the wire get through there or something. Now I just got to pick a wire here that's good for the ether. I think I'm going to use yellow. Yellow seems really ethery to me. And I'm going to just kind of spool the rest of it up here. Leave it up here because I'm sure I'm going to use it for lights or for, I don't know, for some reason. But this way I'll have with a 7-strand wire, I'll have 7 wires up here that are going to run all the way back down to at least back to the engine there. And I'll have a access point. I won't have to come in here and restring wires every time I want to try to wire something up. So I should have 7 opportunities to do that. So I'm just going to roll this up here. Okay, got our switch that we had all cleaned up. That works now. It's just a contact switch. It's either on or off, so it really doesn't matter which side you hook everything up on. So I'm going to hook those up. Put the switch back in. And we should be in business. So I'm going to clean everything up in here so I can tilt the cab and not have anything go through the windshield. Pull this off here. Set that down. Pull tools out, and we'll get down underneath the cab and start working on getting everything else up. I'm actually going to put a junction box here right on top of the battery box, and that way I can always I can tie into things there instead of trying to run the wire back there and then just coil the wire back up and everything like that. So I'm going to run a junction box right here, similar to that same junction box I put on the trailer, just a 7-wire trailer connector junction box. So I'm going to put that right here on top of the battery box. Should be out of the way there, but very accessible when I want to put any other accessories on it. So it should hook right up into it. So now we have all the wires that are up in the dash up there, all run down, junction down into this box here. So when I need to add an accessory or whatever, instead of running a wire, like I said, all the way up into the cab and down, all I need to do is access the switch panel up there, access the switch or put in a switch, pull off one of them circuit breakers, tie into one of those wires that runs down to here, and then wherever I want to run that accessory to, all I have to do is run that accessory right to this box and tie into, I have this one, this one, this one, this one. This one's going to be ether, this one, and this one will probably be a ground for me. Just in case I want another extra ground or something like that. But right now I have 6 other wires that I can access outside of that ether wire that I just accessed. So let's get to doing the ether. Okay, here's the kit. We have the mounting plate with the solenoid on it. This is a CAT system, part number 33100. This is the canister. It's the same as one of those little propane canisters. It's just the same as this canister actually for a little propane torch, except this has got ether in it. It's got a couple of different injectors here. I'm assuming that's for shot size, I'm assuming. Oh yeah, okay, there it goes. It's probably cubic inches there. 500, 300, 300 to 500, and 100 to 300. So those are going to be our injectors. No idea what this is. I don't know. We'll find out. Some tubing, I'm assuming. Kind of rhymes. This is our wiring kit. Check that out. Probably won't be using much of that. And it does give us a push button switch for it. I'm going to be using that rocker switch that was in the cab, so I won't be using that. But you can see it's just a regular, just a momentary switch, just a single circuit makes a circuit and breaks a circuit. So let's, first things first, I want to figure out where I want to mount this thing, because the most accessible spot would be mounting it right on the back of the engine, but pretty soon I'm going to be running exhaust and intake and everything back there, and I think I'm going to need to use as much room back here as I can get. So I don't want to be doing that. So my next logical choice will be somewhere probably right here. Not sure where yet, but we'll, I'm going to take a look around here and brainstorm a little bit. Okay, after looking all over, obviously I can't put it up here because the cab is actually so tight there that it won't fit here. Not a lot of room here to put the whole setup in. I was thinking about maybe right here, but to be able to drill all that out, I'd have to take the tank off. That's going to be a pain in the ass. I thought about here, but I really don't think I'm going to have enough room with that cross-membered beam that goes right through here. And so started looking around. There's no room up front because there's no space up there. I don't want to put it way back here because then I'm running an ether line way up back to the intake. Although it wouldn't be bad back there, I guess, coming to think about it. But what I think I might do is I might tuck it in kind of logically right here behind the air cleaner. Just like that. That way it's kind of out of sight. Doesn't really get seen all that much. Still accessible. I think that's where I might go. But now that I'm talking to you out loud again, I started thinking about back here again. I don't know. Jeez, so indecisive. Maybe back here. I don't know. It's a long ways to get back up to the intake up there, though. I don't know. Let's see. Let's think about it. Okay, I'm going to show you another unique tool. It's a transfer punch. What they are, they're just little center punches, but they're all built up fat on the edge. So what you do is when you want to, say I want to punch these holes on this, out of this, hold on, let me set it down here. Say I want to punch these holes or center these holes on this bracket here, but I want to get them centered inside that circle there. Well, you can take a center punch and you can try to, get it as close as possible. But if you take one of these transfer punches, what you can do is you can stick it into the hole. That one's a little big. Probably the one I need looks like it's been hammered down a little bit. What you can do is you can take one of these transfer punches, put it inside the hole here, and just tap it, and it'll put it perfectly centered up for you. So that's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to just go ahead and mark the first one, drill that, put a bolt in it just to hold it, and then I can square everything up, and then I'll hit the other holes with the transfer punch. Okay, so the kit only came with like 4 feet of nylon tubing, so I had to go in and get more light nylon tubing, and I got a little extra because you can never have too much nylon tubing. So I'm gonna start stringing that and the wiring back up over to where I need to be, and yeah, we'll get that routed and go from there. So it turns out that this thingamabob, is a thermostat that you're supposed to mount to the engine. So obviously this must limit when the ether can be used or not. I don't know. I'm assuming that it would shut off or not allow contact to be made. But it's supposed to be on the block, and it's supposed to be able to be grounded. So I'm assuming that it will limit the ground to be able to go down to the solenoid down here if the block is too warm. So it says to mount it away from any block heater, so there's no block heater on this thing that I know of. I haven't seen one on it. I should look it over, just make sure there isn't one. I don't see one on it anywhere. I'll look on the other side here. I'm sure you guys don't need to sit and watch that, but I got a couple, some bosses over here that I could probably thread into, threaded bosses. That's probably what I'll do is I'll probably stick it right here probably, or here, somewhere in there, and go ahead and wire that in line and run all the wire and the nylon tubing all up together. Okay, on the ground side of the unit, on the solenoid here, the ground moves up, comes up, it ends up running up through this thermostat, and then it ends up grounding against the block as well. I just grounded the block there. The thermostat needed to be grounded as well, so ground's there. The circuit ends up coming through that wire into the solenoid, and this is going to be our power wire coming from the switch. So I'm going to run a wire over to that junction box that I have on the other side of the motor over there. And I'm going to tie all these wires together with the, it's super convenient that they're all black because I'll never get that confused. I'll run that the hose coming from the solenoid up to the injector in top of the manifold there. So right there. Anyways, so let's get to that. Okay, so I got everything wired up, everything ready to go. Everything ran into the junction box. Junction box is sealed. Still got to get rid of that wire. I figure out what I want to do with this yet. Gonna run it into a loom. I was able to run everything back behind here, so you can't even really see anything. The line comes up here, right up into the intake there, and I put the 500 plus cubic inch injector on it. The last thing to do is to put the canister on it, but I want to turn the key on and I want to see if I can hear it clicking before I put that can on there. So I'm going to do that quick. It's going to be a little tough when the cab's tilted, but we can get her done, I think. Ooh, just always worry about those leather straps breaking. Okay, let's see if we can hear anything. I can't really hear anything down there. Suppose we could probably hook a test lamp on there and just see. So really the last part of the process is just going to be putting the bottle into the holder here and getting that all threaded in and hooked up, and put the straps in and call her good. Then we'll give her a crank after we get our air cleaner on and our exhaust pipe back on, and we'll give her a shot. Luke, you want to say hi?
No.
No? Shy today? So there, the actual installation is complete. Actual time involved in all this without, you know, tearing all the other stuff apart. drilling and all that stuff. Actual time involved in hooking this all up is probably about an hour. But, you know, obviously if you're moving stuff around, like taking air cleaners off, drilling through the frame, finding a place to mount it up, it's going to take you, you know, double, triple that time by the time you get everything done. Because now I still got to put the exhaust, my little exhaust, stubby exhaust pipe back on and put my air cleaner back on. And I want to put that on just to see how it looks back there. So now that it's on there, it's actually going to be hidden really well. You barely even see it back there. So. Okay, let's give her a shot. Okay, nothing yet. I'm kind of wondering, since I got some switch issue stuff going on here, if it knocks that stuff out when I'm hitting the starter or not. Well then, that's disappointing. Okay, I figured out my problem. The problem is that thermostat's not creating the ground, and I'm assuming it has to be colder for the system to work. Since this truck has a tough time starting anytime after it sits, I'm going to bypass the thermostat and just have it run, or have it be able to run when it's cooler out. I'm going to probably get a hold of the cats and see if that's an issue, or if I can get a different thermostat maybe that'll allow me to operate it. But right now I have to bypass it and just get it to work pretty much any time. So since this thing's so cold-blooded. Hiccup! Cole's taking his first seat in the truck. Let's get you hung up here. Let's see how she goes now. She's spraying ether now, I know that. So let's give her another shot here. Perfect. Exactly what I needed. Drop. Awesome. So I've talked to a bunch of people about this and asked why this thing's so cold-blooded, and it's not a lot. Pretty much the consensus I've gotten is it's an 855 Cummins, and when they're cold or they sit or whatever, it takes a lot to get them started, and it's going to take ether. I'm sure the motor could probably use an overhead. I'm sure it could probably use a little work tuning here and there or whatever, probably beyond my abilities, but for right now, if I can feed it a little ether just to get her to crack off and run, I'm pretty good. My buddy that's a mechanic that has the same 79 352 with an 855 in it, same thing, it needs ether every time he starts it. So hopefully it's normal. I think it is, but I think we're gonna call that a day for this video. What we're gonna do next is, obviously I need to replace another hub again. So I didn't show you that on the last video, I don't believe, but I did replace the hub on it here earlier this spring, and I'm assuming when I cranked the wheel down, when I tightened it up, it must have cracked the hub on it again. So that's going to be a little expensive fix, but I got to figure out why it's doing that. I don't know if the wheel is not, the face of the wheel isn't true, or plumb, or whatever I don't know what the term is to call it there, flat basically, or what. But I'm gonna have to pull that wheel off and try to figure out why those hubs are cracking, because that's the second one that's cracked. So it's a little scary. So can you say bye-bye?
Bye-bye.
Hey, if you like what you're seeing, hit the like button for me so we can get some traction on YouTube. I'm trying to get my subscriber base back up over the top again, and gonna be back for the long haul so we can
get this thing ready to go. So now that I got all this stuff done, I can start working on some cool stuff like getting them fenders on there, getting this cab ready for paint, and we can doing some cool stuff that's gonna look really cool on camera. So hit the like button, hit subscribe, leave some comments, let me know what you guys think. Thanks for watching. God bless you guys. See ya.